Today, I want to ask you a question. Where will you be in the next 6 months? Now, honestly, not where you think you should be or where you hope you would be, but where do you truly believe you'll be? Now, before you answer that, let me ask you something else. Can you remember where you were 6 months ago? It probably doesn't even feel like that long ago. Yet think about everything that has happened since, the conversations you've had, the challenges you've faced, the tears you cried, the victories you've celebrated, the lessons you've learned. Time has a funny way of moving while we're living each day. It feels slow sometimes. We look at our lives and think nothing is changing. Then suddenly we look back and wonder, where have those 6 months gone? And here's the thing. See, 6 months from now is coming, whether you're ready or not. Time isn't waiting for you to feel confident. It isn't waiting for you to stop doubting yourself or for life to become easier. It just keeps moving. So the real question isn't whether 6 months will pass. The real question is, who will you be during those 6 months? Because there's going to be two versions. Now, the first version could be one woman will look almost exactly the same as she does today. She's still saying, I'll start on Monday, that dreaded Monday. Or it might be next month. Or one of them stories where you tell yourself, when my life settled down, I'll do it then. And then there's another version of you, a woman who decided that today is the day. I'm not waiting no longer. Not because she suddenly became fearless, but because she finally realized that waiting wasn't protecting her anymore. It was just keeping her stuck. So, ladies, can I share something with you personally today about me? There was a time in my life when I honestly believed my best years were behind me. After my marriage had ended, I didn't know who I was anymore. For so many years, I had poured so much of myself into my family, my relationships, my work, and everyone else's needs that somewhere along the line, I disappeared. Have you ever felt like that? So busy looking after everyone else that one day you wake up and you don't even recognize the woman staring back at you in the mirror? Because I know I have. There were mornings when getting out of my bed felt like climbing Mount Everest. There was nights when I cried myself to sleep, wondering if life was ever going to feel joyful again. And I questioned my confidence, my worth, my future, even my beauty. The words people had spoken over me before became the voice inside of my head, and I believed them. Now, if you had met me during that time, that period, that season of my life, you never would have imagined that one day I'd be traveling the world on my own, starting my own business, teaching women, and also standing in front of a camera every week, encouraging thousands of women to believe in themselves. Not because I was extraordinary, no, because I made one decision, a decision I couldn't keep living the same way year after year, over and over again. And that's what so many of us do. We think we live differently, but we're actually living the same years on repeat, the same fears, the same habit, the same excuses, the same dreams. The calendar changes, but we don't. And I realized something that completely changed my life. And that is, life doesn't change. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60 or older. If God has given you another day to wake up, then He has given you another opportunity to create a different future. Here's something else I've noticed. We become so impatient because we can't immediately see results. And I can understand that doing this YouTube channel, I see the small uptake. But it's not about giving up. We go to the gym twice a week and we wonder why we're not feeling better. We start healing and wonder why pain hasn't just disappeared after a couple of weeks. But growth doesn't work like that. Real transformation happens quietly. And that's why so many people give up too soon. Not because they are incapable, because they mistake invisible progress for no progress. I know I did. Every teeny decision was changing me in ways I couldn't yet see. Every time I chose courage over comfort. Every time I chose myself without feeling guilty. Every time every time I stepped out of my comfort zone, I was becoming someone new, not overnight, not in one great giant leap, but one decision at a time. So that's why I truly believe 6 months can change your life. Not because 6 months is magical, no. Because 6 months gives you enough time to become a different person, a different woman. Now, I know that some of you might be thinking, Estella, that sounds wonderful. But you don't understand my situation. Maybe you're carrying heartbreak. Maybe you're emotionally exhausted. Maybe you spent years putting everyone else first. Or maybe you tried before. You started diets, joined the gym, bought the books, watched the motivational videos, written the goals, and somewhere along the way, life happened. You slip back into your old habits. And now you're starting to tell yourself a story. I'm just not the kind of person who can change. Come to me. Can I tell you something? That story is a lie. It isn't your identity. It's simply the story you've repeated so many times that you started believing in it. It's not who you really are. I need you to hear this. The woman you become tomorrow begins with the story you choose to believe today. For years, I believed I wasn't confident. I wasn't beautiful. Wasn't enough, not because there were facts, but because those words have been spoken over and over so often that eventually they became my own inner voice. And here's the dangerous thing about our minds. We don't always live according to the truth. We live according to what we believe. And that's why two women can go through exactly the same experience and come out completely different. One lets it define her, the other lets it develop her. The event wasn't different. The meaning they gave it was. So let me ask you, what meaning have you been giving your past? Have you been using it as proof that you're not enough? Or could it actually be preparing you for the woman you're becoming? One of the biggest lessons I've learned after my divorce was this. I stopped asking why. Why did this happen to me? And I start asking, what is it trying to teach me? That one question changed everything. I stopped seeing myself as a victim of my own circumstances, and I became a student of my life. Every disappointment became a lesson. Every setback became an opportunity to grow, and every fear became an invitation to become braver, to become the woman I was meant to be. And I'll always tell myself this. You cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can absolutely rewrite the meaning you give it. And when you change the meaning, you change your future. Now, here's another mistake I see so many women making. We try to change everything at once. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start a business. I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock and start my goals. I'm going to stop eating sugar. I'm going to journal. I'm going to, and it continued. Before we even started, we're exhausted. No wonder we quit. We're trying to become 10 different women all at the same time. But what if instead you chose one thing, just one area of your life that if it improved would influence everything else? Maybe it's your health, because when you have enough energy, you show up differently. Maybe it's your confidence, because confidence changes how you walk into a room, how you speak, how you sit up, and how you set your boundaries. Maybe it's your finances, your career, your healing, or simply learning to love yourself again. Whatever it is, choose one mountain. Because if you spend your energy climbing many mountains all at once, you won't reach the top of any of them. But if you commit to one, really, really commit to one, you might surprise yourself by how far you can climb. And I can say this too. Please stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Social media has convinced us that transformation should be fast. We see someone real and think that they've become successful overnight. But we never see the years that they spent doubting themselves, the failure that they have made, the lonely mornings, the sacrifice that they have done. We only see the finished picture. It's like, it's a little like going to Egypt, what I spoke about in my last video. If you haven't seen it, check it out. What fascinated me the most wasn't just seeing the pyramids, it was learning how many incredible treasures had been buried beneath the layers of sand for hundreds, sometimes thousands of years. Entire temples, ancient cities, they all didn't just disappear, they were completely covered. Isn't that exactly what happens to us? Our confidence doesn't disappear. It gets buried. Our dream doesn't disappear. They get buried. Our joy, our courage, our self-worth, they're still there. Life simply covered them over with disappointment, heartbreak, fear, responsibilities, and other people's opinion. Years of putting everyone else first. But just because something has been buried doesn't mean it's gone. It simply means it's waiting to be uncovered. You do not need to become someone else. You just need to uncover the woman that has been buried for so long. The confident, joyful woman, the adventurous woman, the woman who laughs without worrying that someone else is thinking, what, the woman who treats herself, who trusts herself. She's still in there. She's simply being covered up. And every choice you make over the next 6 months removes another handful of sand. One decision, one habit, one brave conversation, one boundary, one walk, one workout, one prayer, one day after day. Until one day you look in the mirror and for the first time in a very long time, you smile because you finally recognize the woman looking back at you. And that moment is worth every uncomfortable step it took to get there. Now, let me tell you this. Fear will always tell you to wait. But faith will tell you to begin. Fear will tell you you're too old. But faith will remind you that you have a story inside of you and it's not over till it's over. Fear will tell you you've failed, but faith will whisper, but what if you don't? One of my favorite quotes says this: the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So don't ask yourself, can I change my life in 6 months? Ask yourself, who do I want to become over the next 6 months? Because life isn't waiting. Time isn't slowing down. Those 6 months are going to come whether you choose to go with them or not. And I would love nothing more than for you to come back to this video 6 months from today and leave me a comment and tell me, Estella, I did it. Maybe not perfectly, not without setbacks or tears, but you kept going. And because you kept going, your life changed. I believe in you. But more importantly, I want you to start believing in yourself. Because the woman you have been searching for, the confident one, the peaceful one, the joyful one, the one with courage, she isn't waiting somewhere in the future. No, she's already inside of you. She's simply waiting for you to choose her. My name is Estella. This is Redefine Her World. And if this spoke to you today, please don't forget to like, share, comment, because somewhere out there, another person may need to hear this message. Know that I love you all. And today is your day. Love you. Bye.